if you caught the last show, I showed you sort of a preliminary early shot of the backyard here as to what we were dealing with. The tree that's here is gone. They took it down this morning. Also, there was a big pine tree back there, probably a good 80 plus feet tall. It was a tall one. They took it down, and now they got to come back sometime this week to stump grind so they get everything down below the ground level kind of thing and get it all ground out. In the meantime, also we had a lamp post, which, yeah, it was a street lamp type post thing. It was great big, like a commercial one, and we had to take that down. That turned into a bit of a job. Turned out that was probably bigger than taking the tree down, but we got it out of the ground, got the pole up and everything, and just threw it all to the side. Also, I dug up the two, you probably see them over there, I dug up the two dog houses that were in the backyard, and they, I hate to admit, they were a bear. It took days to get those things out of the ground. If you look at them, you can sort of see there's a black plastic base about this thick on the bottom of them, and so when they were in the ground, they didn't look like, they look like you just, you know, knock them over with a little wind or something, but no, not at all. Next thing that's got to go is the pampas grass. That's got to leave. And that tree back there is, at the best, like I'm going to say questionable. I'm not sure. I might have to end up taking that tree out of there as well, because the building, this is where, you know, you look at the amount of land you have, the size of the building, how much it's going to cost for a concrete slab, how much is the building going to cost. You start adding all these numbers up, and you know, it kind of almost feels like it gets out of control, but there's a lot of cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching involved, you know. So I wish I could do it cheap, but you can't, you know. I mean, there's just, you'd only cut some corners, but you can't really cut all the corners you want. This is the area right here where I want the building to be, and I've sort of went up to a big size and started getting really large on the building size, and now I'm thinking going back a little bit and going like 24 by 30, something like what I had some years ago on YouTube when I was working on that Volkswagen turbo diesel I was working on at the time. We did some video. I also had the Jeep, I think, in there. We worked on it a little bit, and we were filming in there, and it was really surprised me. Had to look back at my own video. That was 24 by 26, so I'd like more space at the back to have, you know, workbenches and stuff, and a little more space of the, you know, tool kind of area, and still leave a nice space for a car, in this case the 68 Camaro, I guess. But ideally it was trying to come up with the right size building and not go bigger and more expensive than what I need or something, and at the same time I don't want it too small where it's like, you know what, the building's not big enough. So, oh man, what a conundrum to try to deal with. And also what fits in the property, of course. There's about an acre of land here, so theoretically lots of space. The area I'm looking at is, I don't know if you probably see the pole from the street light. About 3 feet this way of that pole is about the edge of where the building should go, and this is where I'm going to have a contractor come in, maybe even later this week, and give me a price on doing a concrete slab 24 by 30, and hopefully we'll see if we get it permitted through the county and everything else, so we can go ahead with the slab and get that up, and that way I can order the building. That's the other problem. When you order these buildings, those metal buildings, they don't deliver them like Amazon the next day or something. A lot of times you're waiting about 6 weeks, sometimes even longer, before the crew finally brings the building out to you and starts to put it up or something. And also I have to get a building permit for that. But all I do is take the architectural drawings that they supply over to the county. Theoretically, they give me a permit for the building, and you know, it goes up. Signing off on the building, that's going to be another problem, because I'm hoping with these trees down and enough sun, we can run solar panels and run the building separate off the grid from the house, even, so the building is its own power system. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. But there is a couple problems. They got a lot of trees still, you know, and yeah, each one of these is $1,500 to get rid of them to make them go bye. The other thing I was working on was the shed over here. I'm trying to come up with a design for this shed, because I'm going to keep a lean-to shed over here for like equipment and stuff. I'm going to swing you over there and just have a quick look at it, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I showed you this the other week, and it was an old turtle station for keeping the turtles warm in the wintertime thing or something, but I'm thinking about trying to reuse the structure and the metal and the wood and everything, and just knock the roof up, put it higher up, and also add to the size of the roof a little bit, and bring it out this way a little bit deeper and stuff, and just have like a, you know, an 8x8x7, whatever it is, a little lean-to, just something to keep the garden tractor in. I'll probably close on 3 sides, and then the front side, I don't know. I might end up getting some siding and throw some kind of barn doors on the front or something, so I can actually sort of really almost close it up kind of thing for the weather and stuff. But that was gonna just flatten it out and get rid of it, and then I realized, you know, having an old lean-to structure, they're handy to, you know, keep you know, heavy chains and heavy, you know, machinery and stuff like that, just stuff it in there kind of thing. So I think it might be a good idea, just make it bigger and keep the darn thing. I've got enough lumber and tin and everything else for siding and stuff. There's no reason to knock that thing down. I'd probably try to, you know, make it bigger, whatever, make it bigger and better. Let's go up this way and we'll have a look where the tree is, and I'll show you the other headache I got right now. So I got some 4x4 posts, and I'm pulling them out of the ground. I've got 3 that won't come up, and I got the shovel, started tapping around, and they poured concrete around them. So so this is where the devastation is taking place right now. I gotta get this pop scratch stuff out of here. Got an idea, so we're gonna try it. I'm gonna throw a chain around them, hook it to a come along on a chain back to one of the bigger tall pine trees at the base, and just pull it, and it should rip it right out of the ground. Those 3 4x4 posts, I don't know if you can see the one there's kind of hiding a little bit, but that's kind of interfering because the corner of the building will be like right about there someplace when we get at this 24x30 or whatever in here. So I got quite a bit of site work to do. Yeah, I also want to call a construction company about all this. I imagine what they'll do is what they've always done. They'll bring in loads of dirt, build it up, and then put the concrete on top of that thing. And I don't really agree with that's what they do, but that's the process, you know. Whatever. The big pine tree that was over here, you could think like it wasn't a problem, but it was. It was leaning this way, and leaning kind of just enough to heavily that it was like, at some point, it almost looks like it could come down in this direction. And this is where the building is going. So it's not worth it in the long run to deal, you know, just deal with it now. So I had the tree come brought down, but also I'm gonna have the stump grinder later this week, and we're gonna get these, we've got 1, 2, I guess 3 big stumps. I'm gonna have the grinder hit those things and see if we can get, you know, level stuff up a little bit. It'll make it easier for the construction guy with concrete slab and all that work. It'll make it a lot easier for him to deal with it. So that's what we're at with coffee and tools. I'm also looking after 3D printers, but had a question come in, and it was kind of startling. It's like, you know, when you're down and out and you're trying to get everything back together, and you've got 100 projects on your list right now of things about the house and the property. You just bought it, you know, we're trying to get unpacked, stuff still in boxes, and the guy's asking about stuff like, you know, why don't you promote your business? It's like, I'm kind of busy right now, and right now I don't mind the business in idle or cruise mode or whatever it is right now, where it's just coming in, we're running the machines overnight, so that during the daytime the machines are almost not running. I will have to run it. Yeah, I do have an order. I need to get back to that today, get that machine fired up, get that product made for the gentleman. But every, you know, each day stuff's coming in, going out. It's like, it's steady, it's like good enough. I don't want to promote anything like that, especially on this channel, because it's like, it really has nothing to do with the viewers. You know, it might down the road sometime, maybe we'll cross that path, but right now nobody needs to know what I'm doing, kind of thing. You know, it's like, it's doing just fine. I have tried my best to try to tell people, you know, yeah, if you come up with some products on 3D printing and you want to sell them, you can make really good money, and you can be amazed at how much money those machines can make you. But you have to throw some time and effort into it. You have to use your imagination a little bit or something, or think outside the box, even for product lines and things. And you actually get people asking, well, what product specifically should I manufacture? You know, I'm surprised they don't ask about, you know, how do I get to the post office every day to mail or something? It's like, figure it out, okay? You want to do this, and then you don't want to do anything, you know. And I see a lot of people sometimes are like that. They want to get into a business, they don't know how to run it. They just think they're going to put their feet on the desk, the phone's going to ring, and the money's going to come in, you know, week to week or something. It's like, it doesn't work that way. You have to put effort and work and time into it. The learning curve for the CAD program to draw stuff up, that is, to me, that's the whole key to it. Forget about 3D machines and 3D printing. You need to learn CAD and how to work with it on the computer and draw the stuff up you come up with in your own mind, because those are products that can almost any 3D printer can, you know, make whatever, but you need to do that first. That's almost like the first thing you have to kind of accomplish, which I took a long time trying to learn Fusion 360 until I, you know, finally got it. And it started to work real well with me, and I still love the program. But I have also picked up the other one now. I bought into it, Plasticity, and I like Plasticity because it doesn't require internet. I can save all the files I want to. I can save stuff as much as I want, and I can sit there and draw, and then I can, you know, scratch stuff out, and I don't care. Where Fusion 360, I have the free one, which means I can only save up to 10 projects, and that's all they'll let me have. So in some ways, I don't feel like I even have the full-blown, you know, operation or the software. So with the Plasticity, I've got the full-blown, you know, software, and I can do with those files whatever I want to. There's nobody, you know, worried about what I'm doing or watching me or something. I'm not sharing it across platforms like with, was it Shaper? Some of these other CAD programs, they actually are open source to other people to see what you're drawing. Like, no, I don't think so. No, that's not the way this is going to work. I don't want copycats. I don't want my work stolen, or somebody else try to duplicate or do a similar idea. It's like, I don't want that. So again, I don't promote my stuff on YouTube. I don't promote my business on YouTube. I have several businesses. I don't promote them. They're not for sale. They're not to be discussed on YouTube. They're not for this channel. You know, this channel is Coffee and Tools. We'll just discuss and review some tools, review welders and plasma cutters, or, well, might be doing a review on a building again. We've already done one sort of years ago. I guess, well, 3 or 4, oh, more than that now. 6, 7, cool, boy, it's close to about 7 years ago. We did a building, and I put the building up, and I just wanted to let everybody know, really think out the size of the building and plan it out real well, because once that building is up, you may be surprised you underscored yourself, undercut. I think the last building, my only complaints with it was the roof, the height. It's cheap enough and easy enough to add an extra 1 or 2 feet to the legs, and that's just more siding. But the cost wise, it was like, it doesn't cost that much more. And the difference between, say, a 7-foot leg to a 9-foot leg, the building is so much taller, so much, so much bigger. And especially in this case with the car type system, you might want to put a car lift in there later on. So again, you're going to want that height. Also, you're going to want more than 4 inches of slab if you're going to bolt something down for a car lift, something like that. So everything has to be sort of planned and thought out. But this is where I'm at with this right now. Hopefully, like contractor, maybe later this week, he'll be in, and we'll get an estimate on what we're looking at for the slab cost, because that's really the next big, what, gotta get it done, right? Yeah.